please welcome to the stage the chairs of the New York Women's Foundation Board of Directors, Danielle Moss-Cox and Mary Baglivo.
Good morning. Good morning, friends. It's wonderful to see all of you here today, and welcome to the New York Women's Foundation annual Celebrating Women Breakfast. Aren't you feeling fired up after hearing Fogo Azul? Let's give them another round of applause. There you are. I'm Mary Baglivo, Board Chair of the New York Women's Foundation.
I'm Danielle Moss-Cox, Board Chair of the New York Women's Foundation, along with Mary.
And we are just so grateful to have each and every one of you here with us today. It really fills our hearts. Welcome to those here in the audience and also to everyone who's attending virtually around the country. I'd like to begin by acknowledging our incredible event co-chairs, board members Lola C. West and Victoria Powell. And also the dedicated members of this year's Celebrating Women Breakfast Steering Committee. We also share tremendous gratitude on behalf of the entire New York Women's Foundation community to all the sponsors and supporters of the breakfast this year. Thank you so much. And a big, big, big thank you to the staff of the New York Women's Foundation. They work tirelessly on behalf of our partners and our communities. And thank you to our sign language interpreters, Maria Cordoza and Avery Gordon, and to our Spanish language interpreters, Hilary Mercedes and Maria Garcia. Thanks to the team at Marriott also for your hard work here today and for their company's recent reaffirmation of their commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion. So now, take a look up in the balcony, please, as we celebrate our Emerging Leaders Network. These young advocates and philanthropists are the future of the foundation, and it is our collective hope that they will be able to see beyond the present to emerge into the future. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge the elected leaders who've chosen to join us here today to express their support and to listen firsthand to the community leaders.
Hello, everybody. Isn't it a great day to be a woman?
Yeah.
All right. So on behalf of the entire board of directors of the New York Women's Foundation, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us. Can I ask all the board members to please stand quickly? Just an extraordinary group of women leaders. We have an exceptional program planned today with a breakfast theme, Together We Create Power and Possibility. We are here to celebrate and honor our grantee partners who are here on the dais. They are on journeys that follow a path of passion, dedication, creating bold solutions that not only transform the lives of women and families, but the communities that they serve. On the dais behind us and in the crowd are our 2024 grantee partners. They're wearing special scarves so you can easily get to know them. I'd like to ask our partners now to all please stand up so that we can honor and celebrate the incredible work that you do across the 5 boroughs of New York City and beyond to build the future for women and girls across our country.
And today we're honoring a group of amazing women and change makers. All of our honorees share a deep commitment to lead the work to advance economic, gender, and racial equality. Now, I know we all look forward to hearing their inspiring words this morning. And then it's you. You all here with us today are who make this breakfast and these days and these times so very special. It's your journey. When you support the New York Women's Foundation, you support the trailblazing leaders like the ones we're celebrating here today. I'm very proud to say that by the end of this year, the Foundation's grant-making efforts will hopefully cross the $140 million mark, funding more than 500 grantee partners over the course of what is now a 38-year history. And this is only possible because everyone here works together to make it happen. It is the power of the collective, all of us together, and that is more important than ever to march forward together.
By giving to the foundation, our gifts are combined and together become a powerful tool for change, to create a world where women lead, live free of violence and discrimination, and can thrive. Because of your radical generosity, the foundation can do what it does best: invest in dynamic leaders on a journey working toward a vibrant future for all women. You'll hear more about the foundation's efforts throughout today's program. Thank you for standing in solidarity with the New York Women's Foundation. That was quick. I'm back again. So now I have the great honor of presenting our first Celebrating Women Award of the morning. Just make sure I can see. Jacqueline Woodson is one of the most prolific and beloved voices in contemporary literature. I'm excited too. Her work is a reflection of her profound commitment to social justice, to the empowerment of young women and girls, and to the communities she holds dear. As a writer, she has given voice to the stories of those who are often overlooked, creating characters whose experiences resonate deeply with readers of all backgrounds. With more than 24 award-winning books to her credit, Jacqueline's work explores the complex intersections of race, class, gender, family, and American history. Her writing is not just an art form, it is a call to action. It is a reminder that every girl, no matter her background or circumstances, deserves to be seen, to be heard, and to be celebrated. Through her words, she has shown us the importance of telling our stories, of owning our narratives, and of creating spaces where others can do the same. Jacqueline's work has been a guiding light for countless women and girls, especially Black women and women of color. Whether through her acclaimed works like Brown Girl Dreaming, The Day You Begin, or Another Brooklyn, stand up, BK, she has opened hearts and minds, sparking conversations around identity, race, gender, and belonging. What makes Jacqueline truly exceptional is her unwavering dedication to advocacy beyond the page. She has used her platform to address systemic inequality, to push for greater diversity in literature, and to provide opportunities for young women and girls to see themselves reflected in the stories that shape the world. So today, we honor Jacqueline, not just for the books she has written, but for the countless lives she has touched with her vision, her courage, and her heart. She is a true role model, and her impact on women and girls, both locally and globally, is immeasurable. Please join me in celebrating the remarkable Jacqueline Woodson, this year's Celebrating Women Award honoree.
Thank you so much. This is quite an honor. I am actually going to start with reading a poem from Brown Girl Dreaming, which is a memoir. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in Brooklyn. Yes. I grew up in Bushwick, the old Bushwick, not this Bushwick. And I grew up, for those of you who haven't read the book, I grew up Jehovah's Witness and Muslim on the side. So because there wasn't enough religion in our house as Jehovah's Witnesses, when my uncle, who had been impacted by the incarceral system, came home, he had converted to the Nation of Islam and then eventually became full Muslim. So we grew up reading both the Bible and the Quran. We grew up not celebrating any holidays and, observing Ramadan and all of this stuff. So this poem is called Music. Each morning the radio comes on at 7 o'clock. Sometimes it's Michael Jackson singing that ABC is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Or Sly and the Family Stone thanking us for letting them be themselves. Sometimes it's slower music, the 5 stair steps telling us that things are going to get easier. Or the Hollies singing, he ain't heavy, he's my brother. So on we go. My mother lets us choose what music we want to listen to, as long as the word funk doesn't appear anywhere in the song. But the summer I am 10, funk is in every single song that comes on the cool black radio stations. So our mother makes us listen to the white ones. All afternoon, corny people sing about Colorado, about everything being beautiful, about how we've only just begun. My sister falls in love with the singers, but I sneak off to Maria's house. We're safe inside her room with the pink shag carpet and bunk beds. We can comb our doll's hair and sing along when the Ohio players say he's the funkiest worm in the world. We can dance the funky chicken, tell imaginary intruders to get the funk out of our faces. Say the word so hard and so loud and so many times, it becomes something different to us. Something so silly we laugh just thinking about it. Funky, 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 we say over and over again, because the word is just a word, not connected to anything, good or bad, right or wrong. Thanks. So I prefaced the whole thing about my religious upbringing because we weren't allowed to do jack when I was growing up. We weren't allowed to dance, we weren't allowed to sing, we weren't allowed to curse. And growing up in the old Bushwick, you had to be able to do all those things to survive. But we survived anyway, and I am so grateful. I wrote a speech, but I probably won't give it because I never give my written speeches. But I am so grateful to the New York Women's Foundation for honoring me with this award. Last year, I was standing on this stage introducing my bestie, Toshi Regan, and who can't be here today because time moves so quickly, and it's so important that we get the stories from our elders. Toshi is back in DC organizing the celebration of her mother, Dr. Bernice Johnson Regan, who, as many of you know, became an ancestor this year, sadly. And also on this stage was my friend Cynthia Nixon. So it's just so good to be in the company of my people and to be in the company of New York Women's Foundation and to be in the company of you. I was at an Eid banquet a couple of weeks ago, talk about time moving, and the imam there said to look around you. And there were about 300 people there, including our next mayor, Zoran, who's in the room today. And the imam said, look around you. He said, all the people in this room are people you can trust. And it felt so good to be in a room where people saw me, where I saw the people, where we were engaged in the same fight for justice. All we are trying to do, so many of us, and I know so many of you in this room, are make this is make this world safer so that people can walk through it in their whole lives. We are gender expansive people, we are women, we are activists, and we are doing this work to keep this world safe, even as folks wake up every morning trying to figure out how unsafe they can make this world for us. I think about Audre Lorde, who said, we should all go to bed knowing we have work to do. We should all wake up knowing we have work to do and go to bed knowing we've done that work. The New York Women's Foundation with the work they've done, the honorees with the work that's being done, all of us are in this room doing the work, and I so appreciate you. And I want to just shout out my family. My beautiful wife is actually not here because she's a physician in the Bronx, and she runs a van for unhoused folks with chronic illnesses. So she had to be on the van at 7:30 this morning. And my daughter, who's an actor, got some paid work, so she couldn't be here. And my son, who's 17, just texted me and said, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm downstairs because I wanted his ass to get to school today." And if he knew I wasn't home, that wasn't gonna happen. So I am thankful to y'all. I am thankful to Black women and all women. I am thankful to gender expansive people. I am thankful to be standing here with my ancestors in the room, with all of us. And thank you, thank you, thank you. My sorority colors. Thank you. Thank you. Oh man, this is the hardest part.
Wow, she's wonderful. Hi, it's truly an honor to present the next two Celebrating Women Awards, which recognize and uplift the extraordinary power and effectiveness of coalition movements. I'd like to invite the Equal Rights Amendment Coalition and New Yorkers for Equality to the stage. Please join me. All of you. Well done. Okay, we're all here now. The ERA Coalition and Fund for Women's Equality, known as ERA Coalition Forward, was founded in 2014. It is the movement of movements. From gender, racial, economic, and reproductive justice to labor and LGBTQ+ rights, the coalition convenes a diverse group of nearly 300 partners across the country. The coalition represents 80 million people, all united under one banner, to advance equality. The Equal Rights Amendment, first introduced nearly 100 years ago, was written to ensure that women's rights are fully protected by the US Constitution. The coalition has worked relentlessly to raise awareness, build support, and push for the legal and political changes necessary to make the ERA a reality. And this very year, 2025, they made history when President Biden declared that the Equal Rights Amendment is the 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Great progress, great progress. The founders and leaders of the ERA Coalition, including those joining us here today, are committed to building a movement rooted in a deep understanding of the systemic inequities that women face. They picked up the baton in the decades-long struggle to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment with the determination that equality cannot be fully realized until we have a legal framework that guarantees it for all women. Their work is a meaningful reminder to all of us here today that the fight for equity and justice is not a fight that can be won in one generation or even in one lifetime. But it is a fight worth every ounce of effort, every bit of advocacy, and every act of resistance for those generations who are going to come after us. So today, we honor the Equal Rights Amendment Coalition with our Celebrating Women Award. Joining us on stage today are coalition leaders, and wave when I say your name, please, so everyone can clap for you. Carol Jenkins, President and CEO of the ERA Coalition and Chair of the Fund for Women's Equality. Carolyn Maloney, former Congress member and ERA Coalition founder. And Jessica Newworth, President Emerita of the ERA Coalition and the Fund for Women's Equality. And accepting the award on behalf is Zakia Thomas, who is President and CEO of the ERA Coalition and ERA Coalition Forward. Please join me in celebrating the ERA Coalition. Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you to the New York Women's Foundation for this recognition. We wouldn't be here without your support. Throughout the years, and we're so honored to accept this award on behalf of the ERA Coalition, and I'm proud to stand here with the Honorable Carolyn Maloney, Jessica Newworth, and Carol Jenkins, who is our Chair Emerita, by the way. So please give her some recognition for that. All who have led the coalition since its inception. For over 10 years, the ERA Coalition helped grow the public support for the Equal Rights Amendment as the 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Our movement of movements brings together over 300 partner organizations representing 80 million people across the country, all working towards gender equality. We are mobilizing for constitutional sex equality, and we facilitate collaboration and engagement across the country and across sectors to foster policy change, educate the public, and gain public support. We also achieve wins for our movements. The ERA Coalition is thrilled to celebrate the success of Prop 1 and the New Yorkers for ERA, a phenomenal partner, by the way, who fought very hard for this win. Their victory is a long time in coming, proving that progress takes time and collective action. That's how movements prevail. And you may not know this, but the women standing here to my left are some of the ones who helped write the initial expanded ERA and helped encourage New York to do so, and we advocated for it from the beginning. So seeing this progress happen has been decades in the making. We're so excited to be here to share this moment with everyone. We're also proud to be here and have this as part of our legacy because we've seen that this expanded ERA is now being introduced in legislatures across the country. So after a 100-year fight for the federal Equal Rights Amendment, it's met all constitutional requirements to be added to the Constitution and to be fully ratified. Before leaving office, President Biden declared it the law of the land as the 20th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Now our work turns towards universal recognition and implementation. We are mobilizing and organizing to secure constitutional equality. Our campaign, It's Our Era, Claim the 28th Amendment, educates, engages, and organizes and mobilizes advocates, communities, and organizations nationwide to recognize that the ERA is the 28th Amendment. Our mission remains steady, to empower the public with the knowledge to understand why constitutional gender equality matters, what's at stake, and how it will impact their lives. We provide people a way to channel a sense of urgency into action, where anyone can participate in creating a culture of equality. We are creating a national movement because we know when we work together as a collective, nothing is impossible. We're fortunate to be here with all of you today and know that you're in this with us, and we're doing this work together. So join us in claiming the 28th. Let's work together to change the tide and achieve the progress we want to see. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Congratulations. And now I have the honor of introducing another unstoppable movement, New Yorkers for Equal Rights, built a commanding coalition of more than 500 members across the state. This powerhouse coalition includes leading civil rights, reproductive rights, and labor organizations, all focused on passing Proposal 1 in the November 2024 election. And pass it did. Thanks to the tireless efforts of New Yorkers for Equal Rights, New Yorkers overwhelmingly voted to pass Prop 1, permanently expanding the protections of the New York State Constitution to include ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, pregnancy, and reproductive health care and autonomy. The organization has been a critical force in shaping policies that make a tangible difference in women's life. They lead work to secure stronger protections for survivors of domestic violence. They advocate for expanded access to health care and reproductive rights. Their tireless efforts have led to legislative victories, and they've shifted public discourse on what gender equality should look like in our society. Beyond policy and legislation, New Yorkers for Equal Rights is a tireless advocate for community engagement. They work to ensure that women have a seat at the table and that their voices are heard. They demand that their needs are prioritized in the decision-making process. They mobilize communities, raise awareness, and build coalitions that have strengthened the fabric of our collective fight for justice. Today, we honor New Yorkers for Equal Rights for their remarkable achievements in policy advocacy and their leadership in building a more inclusive and equitable New York. On stage today are three leaders from the coalition: Donna Lieberman, who is Executive Director of the New York Civil Liberties Union; Robin Chappelle Golston, who is President and CEO of Planned Parenthood Empire State Acts; and L. Joy Williams, President of the NAACP New York State Conference. And accepting our Celebrating Women Award today, please join me in welcoming Sasha Ahuja, who is Campaign Director for New Yorkers for Equal Rights.
Some people don't know that I had a baby 4 days after we filed the campaign. So here she is at 2. And my wife, New York City Council member Crystal Hudson, very glad to have her here. Good morning. You're going to have to do a little better than that. Good morning. Good morning. People on the balcony, good morning. Excellent. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sasha Ahuja. I had the honor of serving as campaign director of New Yorkers for Equal Rights, the ballot initiative committee that won a monumental victory this past November with the passage of Prop 1. Zakia and our board chair mentioned this already, but I want to talk a little bit about what Prop 1 is and what it did. Prop 1, a ballot measure that many of you who voted in New York may have voted yes on, was a broad, inclusive, and expansive amendment to our state constitution. It affirmed the rights of all New Yorkers. Thank you so much to the New York Women's Foundation for honoring our work. And I'll thank them several times, but I really, really want to proudly thank our partners, my partners in this campaign, Donna Lieberman and Robin Chappelle Golston, who were, you know the cartoon where there's like birds on your shoulders that are whispering? That was Robin and Donna for the better part of 2 years, and you'll hear a lot more about them. Today, thank you to all of you who stood by this historic campaign. New York has the strongest state constitutional protections in the country for people who experience discrimination. This past November, voters, like every one of you in this room, unequivocally agreed that our state's strongest founding document, our state constitution, should protect people on the basis of against discrimination, no matter their age, disability, ethnicity, national origin, sex, including sexual orientation, reproductive health care, gender identity, gender expression, abortion access, and pregnancy outcomes. We did that, New York. Put simply, thanks to your yes vote on Prop 1, New York has the most inclusive state constitutional protections in the country. And just as importantly, and Zakia said this, and I want to emphasize, we redefined the ERA. We reminded everyone that attacks on abortion, and cameo. It wouldn't be a women's event without some children, right? We reminded everyone that attacks on abortion and attacks on gender-affirming healthcare are two sides of the same coin. The opposition wants to control our bodies, and we in New York said, hell no. Now, I don't need to tell this crowd how important it is that in this moment where we're losing so much at the federal level, with every decision the Trump administration and this Supreme Court make to bring the decisions back to the states, my friends here in New York, we are protected. We are protected thanks to you. You all did the hard work. You showed up, you showed out, you flipped your ballots, and you voted yes. But this is a victory that's more than just New York. It's a model for states all across the country. A blueprint for how we can protect and advance rights of all people, regardless of their race, their identity, or their life experience. In just a few weeks, Oregon is going to qualify their ERA on the ballot. Vermont, Rhode Island, Hawaii, California, Illinois are all looking at identical measures because of what we did in New York. Now, let me be clear. A campaign manager does not make a campaign. Voters make a campaign. Volunteers make a campaign. Organizations make a campaign. Community and a movement make a campaign. Today, we're celebrating over 500 organizations that joined this fight. We're celebrating thousands of volunteers who knocked on doors, who made over 1 million calls to voters, who sent nearly 7.5 million texts, that donated small and large dollars amounting to over $10 million to get up on the air, on digital, and in mailboxes all across the state. And ultimately, we're celebrating 4.8 million New Yorkers, 63% of all voters in our state who voted yes. This is what makes a campaign. You are what makes a campaign. And listen, the 2024 election, of course, it was tough. We lost a lot all across the country. But we came together here in New York. We fought hard, and we proved what was possible when we build a campaign that actually tells voters what to vote for. For equality, for freedom, for justice, for safety, for government out of our most personal decisions, and for people, each and every one of you, to be in charge of our bodies, our lives, and our futures. This victory would not have been possible without the unwavering partnership of the two individuals that I just named and so many other executive committee partners. The leaders standing with me today, Donald Lieberman of the mighty New York Civil Liberties Union, Robin Chappelle Golston of the New York arm of Planned Parenthood Empire State Acts, and a leader who couldn't be with us today but was by my side every step of the way, the brand new president of the NAACP New York State Conference, Eljoy Williams. These leaders were by our side every step of the way, and so let's take a moment to honor them in their fight. I'll end with this. As we celebrate, we have to remain vigilant. Those of us who fought for women's freedom and liberation, we cannot afford to fall prey to the opposition's attacks on trans communities. Now, we know that we have a lot of education to do. We got a lot of bringing along to do. And we also have a lot of work to do in our own movements, at the highest levels of our own leadership in our own organizations. But now is not the time to cower in fear, because fear is how we lose. Now is the time to say we need to do more. Now is the time to say our dreams have to be bolder, that our vision has to be stronger, that we have more to achieve. Now is the time to stand up, to not back down, to lock arms, to rise together, and leave no one behind. Thank you to all of you for your passion and your perseverance. Let's keep pushing forward because this work continues. We're hardly done. And thank you, of course, to the New York Women's Foundation for being by our side every step of the way.
Congratulations, everybody. Shall we?
Please welcome to the stage representatives from the New York Women's Foundation Community-Based Accelerator, the Brooklyn Economic Justice Project, Central Brooklyn Economic Development Corporation, Brownsville Justice Center, Equality for Flatbush, East New York Community Land Trust, Churches United for Fair Housing, and speaking on behalf of the project is Allison Martinez, Executive Director of Brooklyn Level Up.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. We are the Brooklyn Economic Justice Project, and we invite you to look at the screen for a little video about our work.
Launched in 2020, The Brooklyn Economic Justice Project, BEJP, is a community-based economic justice accelerator in central Brooklyn that fosters collective action among a hyper-local cohort of advocates and leaders to achieve economic liberation for women and gender-expansive people of color and their communities. Led by the New York Women's Foundation, with support and partnership from Foundation Chanel and Flock Studio, this place-based initiative in a rapidly gentrifying, diverse Black community centers the needs, experiences, and leadership of cisgender and transgender women and gender non-binary people of color, and invest in their ideas and strategies for collective economic power and prosperity. Rooted in a gender and racial justice framework, this initiative creates an inclusive space for leaders to imagine, co-create, and realize their own futures.
Thank you. Good morning again. I'm Allison Martinez, the founding director of Brooklyn Level Up, a community development corporation and social impact lab rooted in the neighborhoods of East Flatbush, Flatbush, and Flatlands, Brooklyn. Like we all do, I carry many identities. I'm a lawyer, a sister, a friend, but the roles that most deeply ground me and the reason Brooklyn Level Up exists begin with the women who raised me. I am one of Tabitha Stewart's granddaughters, a woman who in 1953 left her husband and children in Guyana to build a better life in an unfamiliar land for her own family, and as it turned out, for others making that same journey. I'm Hazel Martinez's daughter, a registered nurse who worked multiple jobs to raise me on her own, who still made time to help me with my homework, to help a neighbor in need, and to bring me to protests for the causes she cared about. I'm also Kay Craft's goddaughter, a woman who walked away from corporate America to start a business on her own terms and is the freest woman I have ever known. These Black women, by living their lives with courage, strength, and care, taught me that education is power no one can take away from you, that our gifts must be used to ease the path for others, and that nothing and no one is stronger than a woman who is both independent and determined. They showed me that hard things, even impossible things, can be done, especially when we choose to do them together. Brooklyn Level Up is my way of honoring that legacy. It is how I use my education, creativity, and lived experience in love and service to community. And as we all know, doing this work, especially in these times, is not easy. This work requires deep relationships, shared vision, and unwavering support from partners. That is what the Brooklyn Economic Justice Project gives us, a space for all of us to be in deep community, to find solidarity and strength, and to build something greater than any of our singular organizations could do alone. It is how we move communities from survival to transformation. Brooklyn Level Up has lived this journey from being a BEJP micro-grantee during the height of COVID to becoming a full cohort member with a voice at the table. Working together with these other organizations to shine light on the next wave of grassroots leaders. The work each of our organizations does, whether mutual aid, housing, community land trust building, small business support, or environmental justice, is powerful, but it becomes transformational when we do it together, in coalition, rooted in shared purpose and collective care. We are not only building programs, we are building community power. From seed funding to SUSUs, from neighborhood solutions, to a vision for a community investment fund for Central Brooklyn, we are activating old traditions and new technologies to shape a future that is for us, by us, but not only us. We hope that you will continue standing with the New York Women's Foundation and with the Brooklyn Economic Justice Project, because it is together that we will survive these times and ultimately build a life, community, and world that we can be proud of handing to the next generation of change makers. Thank you.
Please turn your attention now to the screens to hear about the work of the New York Women's Foundation and the impact of our community partners.
It all started in the spring of 1987 when a group of women got together to lay the groundwork for a philanthropic organization to be run by women for women. The founders quickly realized that for real impact, theirs had to be an alliance of grassroots women leaders across class, race, and ethnicity, from New York and beyond. In the 4 decades since, the New York Women's Foundation's participatory grant-making approach has powered over 500 changemakers, advancing gender, racial, economic, and disability rights.
I am here because somebody, many somebodies, lifted me.
The New York Women's Foundation has supported Hot Bread Kitchen since our founding 17 years ago. Today, our organization has over 2,200 members and has placed more than 800 members in high-quality food jobs in New York City.
To the progressive philanthropy community here today, if you feel frozen, if you don't know what to do or how to do it, women's funds like the New York Women's Foundation do know what to do. Last year alone, over half of our partners worldwide were engaged in some kind of local or national public policy work. 64% of them achieved some kind of public policy breakthrough in their communities.
When women lead, communities prosper. It is because of this understanding that the New York Women's Foundation was one of the earliest investors in 21 and 21 initiative, now the New Majority NYC. At the time, we were working to elect at least 21 women to City Council out of 51 seats. But as we all know, because of the support of the New York Women's Foundation and others, the New Majority exists. We are called the New Majority because for the first time in history, we have a majority women and the most diverse city council in New York City's history.
There is a lot going on in creating economic arrangements that are not a win-lose proposition, but they are a win-win proposition. So could we be a place that diversifies the instruments and tools that we can offer our community partners?
From pioneering participatory grant-making to incubating philanthropic collaboratives that bring government, changemakers, and donors together, our work impacts local, state, and national policy far beyond the 5 boroughs. The New York Women's Foundation, rooted in New York, changing the world.
Please welcome the New York Women's Foundation President and CEO, Ana Oliveira.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. Okay, we're waking up. All right. Thank you for being here. As they say, showing up is 50% of the work, right? And you are doing already that 50% of the work. I want to begin by thanking the people that welcome us every year here in their work home, who are the Marriott staff members. They reminded me today, I thanked them for having us, and they said, this is our home too, and we want to have you here. So, and we also know that the Marriott, like JPMorganChase, has committed openly to maintaining diversity, DEI, and inclusion, equity and inclusion principles. So we're very proud to be here. I want to thank our translators, our signers that are here making it possible for accessibility for more and more of us. I want to thank our honorees for saying yes and for the work that you do. I certainly want to thank the volunteers that came very, very early today, that came for a training early this week. Yes, we see you, we need you, we thank you. And the fabulous staff team of the New York Women's Foundation. I am very aware that their dedication is to the mission of the foundation, is to the work of our grantee partners. And evidently, we couldn't exist, we couldn't create the change that we are creating without all of our donor partners, with our board of directors, with our board alumni. So please, thank them, because you make the foundation be who we are. If I asked you all to get up, it might be that everybody gets up here, because every single person here contributes to the foundation. And we wanted in this breakfast for you to get an experience of togetherness. Togetherness. This is a time where doing together, collectively addressing issues, having a very inclusive tent. You heard about Proposition 1. Proposition 1 advanced us to inclusion. And sometimes we get afraid that inclusion is going to weaken us. But I will tell you, inclusion strengthens us. Inclusion means that we cannot be broken, because when you take every little single piece of wood and you put it all together in a bunch, you don't break it. But each one alone is easily broken. Because one grain of rice does not feed anyone, but a bowl of rice feeds everyone. And that's what we need to do at the time that we are. We need to show up. We need to act together. We need to decolonize our minds every morning. We need to renew our spirits. We need to remember that in spite and because of all the adversities that our ancestors, and every single one of us here needs to know our ancestors that have been creating the path that we so proudly walk on. Because we will be ancestors to those coming after us, and they need us to do the same. So that is the moment that we are, where the discipline of hope, the generosity of hope is needed to be cultivated on a daily basis. And how do we do that? We do that with simple acts. We do that by listening to our leaders. At the foundation, we do that by centering our grantee partners. And I'm going to ask them to once again stand up, because worry not for their daily leadership. By the way, they don't get to say, I don't think I'm going to do this today because it's hard. They get to say, funds are being cut for my community. I'm going to create mutual aid systems. They get to say policies are being ignored. We are going to remind people. We're going to organize our community. We're going to talk to our elected officials, and we're going to ensure that they move. So in that same way, I want them to stand up on the dais and throughout the audience, because you need to know that you are not alone. So please stand up. You make our lives possible in New York. You make the city be a city where everyone wants to come to, and everyone needs to be welcome and supported in New York City. Thank you, thank you. And thank you for the work you do every day. Now, I want to say a couple of things about New York City. In our video, we say local solutions that are changing the world. Not too long ago, the New York Women's Foundation listened to Girls for Gender Equity, who said we need to do something for young women. We followed them. They went to City Council. Speaker Mark Viverito then said yes. We launched a cooperative fund with incredible supporters, many of whom are here today. And that was created, the Young Women's Initiative. The Young Women's Initiative was renewed by Speaker Adams just last year, which means that we are continuing, which means that now in the country, there are other 16 women's foundations that are also creating and growing their own Young Women's Initiatives. So I want you to know that it makes a difference. It makes a difference what you do. In those moments of doubt, just remember the new majority. Just remember Proposition 1. Just remember that in every borough in the city and beyond, folks are on a daily basis creating solutions for themselves, creating solutions for their communities, and making it possible for all of us to walk and live and thrive in all the ways that we do in this city. So what is ahead? The foundation will continue in the discipline of hope, in the commitment of determination, focus, and possibility. The foundation is us. We will be inviting you together to come together more often because we need and we know that it's important to have antidotes to the erasure of our power and our importance, and that our acts of generosity and solidarity actually matter, but they do. We will also remind you that New York City and New York State must continue to be strong. What does that mean? That leadership matters. Do you agree with me that it matters who's in leadership? Yes, yes. So let's make it work for us. Let's make it work for us. If you ever doubt the power of the work that you do, that our leaders do, that our community leaders do, just think about how much it has taken from those uninterested in their power to be able to disturb it. It has taken a lot. But these are temporary historical moments. It's up to us to shrink it. Shrink those moments that are not advantageous for equality, justice, and inclusion. And let's build in an accelerated manner the world that we want to live in. Elections are coming in New York, in the state, in the country. Every day, community-based organizations are responding. So our options are here today, and our options will be here tomorrow. So we are counting on you. Next year's breakfast, we want to stand here and say, these are the wins that we had in spite of, and because we believe in ourselves, because we know that we are not alone. So on that note, it is my great honor to introduce to you the co-chairs of our breakfast, our board vice chair, Lola C. West, and our board treasurer, Victoria Chu Powell. Please welcome them.
Give yourself a hand for being here, because you could be any place else today, and you chose to be with us, and we're delighted. As Anna said, I'm Lola C. West, Vice Chair of the Board and Chair of the Breakfast.
And I'm Victoria Powell, Board Member of the New York Women's Foundation and the Chair of the Breakfast.
I've been involved with the New York Women's Foundation on the board for almost a decade. And I've fallen in love with the foundation because they are true visionaries and can see the problems and figure out solutions before the city, country, or world see it. In this pivotal moment in history, I stand before you to implore you to join us and be the ones we are looking for. This time is the time to hold ourselves accountable because we have no assurance that help will be coming for a moment. It is because I believe in this organization and I believe in the power of community. Together, we create power and possibility.
Yes, Lola, women supporting women. That is why we are here. In the spirit of building community, I invite you to take a moment to look around you and really see every one of us that have chosen to be here today. Despite our limited time together this morning, we want to take a few intentional minutes to create the opportunity to connect with each other. So, at this point at your tables, please take a look at the pledge cards. We have one question that we have put on the pledge cards, and the one question is, how do I celebrate women in 2025? So, we'd like to take a moment. Please reflect on this question. Does one word or a phrase come to mind? So we're going to take 5 minutes. Please fill out your thoughts. And in case you need some additional inspiration, we have invited our 2024 grantee partners to be guests at each of your tables. You can also invite them to share their work with all of you too. So this is not a break, but it is a chance for you to write down your thoughts and turn to your neighbors, introduce yourselves, and share your thoughts with them too.
So we're going to stand up here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hot mic.
Okay, so where's the timer? Who's going to tell us the time? Huh? Okay. Well, it's interesting because they did not get up. Somebody needs to give us the time. So we could walk us through.
I'm sure one of them
No. People are actually filling out their cards. This is good. Maybe they actually turned it off.
Oh yeah, I hope so. Do you talk about the QR codes?
Huh?
Do you talk about the QR codes?
Yeah, on the next page.
We can go impromptu and ask for some cards, except we didn't plant it. Could be.
It must have been at least a minute by now. I'm not great on time.
I think we're ahead.
I'm going to walk in this way because I'm not. Yeah. Okay. dim the house lights at 9:04.
No, this is good. Everyone's talking at their table.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is what there should be.
And they did not get up.
Yeah, and they're
All right. You can hear it? No, I know, but we were talking. They couldn't hear us.
There's a live stream. Oh, Lola.
Hysterical. Okay.
We'll talk to this one.
Distinguished guests, can we get back to the program now? Now that you've seen the importance of the work of the foundation and had a chance to speak with some of the change makers, I invite you to flip the card and make a donation to support this important mission. We have all the ways you can donate today. Please take a look at the screen. You can scan the QR code. Is it going to be up? Or you could text CWB25 to the number 325-603-3395 from your phones. The code and text information are also listed in your programs and on the donation cards at your table. Should you choose to do it the old-fashioned way, raise your hand so someone can come and collect the card so that we can make sure that it gets placed on our thermometer. I invite each of you here today to show radical generosity. Our city, country, and world need a bit of radical generosity. This is not just a donation. It is an investment in our future and what we want our future to look like. One of our board members, Marielle, came up to me and said, "Lola, I want to make a donation." So Marielle, why don't you tell us what your donation? Just shout it out. All right. Thank you, and I hope the rest follow.
Thank you, Marielle. And speaking about investing in our future, you heard earlier, it is most powerful when we fund collective action work. So for example, in 2015, we invested in the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement, Patrisse Cullors, Alicia Garza, and Opal Tometi. Next, we invested in Tarana Burke of the Me Too movement when not many would. Through our justice table, we focused on improving the criminal justice system and eliminating mass incarceration. And just last year, as you heard already on stage, we played a pivotal role in supporting the passage of Prop 1, the New York Equal Rights Amendment, securing constitutional protection against gender-based discrimination.
Today we have the goal of raising $100,000 in this room. Can we please show our fundraising thermometer so we can see how we're doing? Look at that.
There we go.
All right. We have over 1,000 people in this room and many more joining us online. If every one of us donated $100, we would hit our goal today. Now, we know that everyone can't do that much, and that's okay. Because we know with the foundation, every single dollar counts. Collective action requires collective investment. And the foundation puts all of the money raised here today to work funding these critical movements by and for women that are changing our cities and the world. So donate what you can, and together we'll fill up that thermometer, and together we will reach our goal.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all. Okay, how are we doing on the thermometer? It's slowly moving, so we're getting there. We still have a few more minutes to go. So let's keep going and raise what we can to help the women leaders on the front lines of fighting to improve the lives of women and children in our communities. And speaking of women leaders, did you know that we at the foundation are often the ones that provide the first initial seed grants to our women community leaders? For example, in 1991, we were an early investor in the Korean American Service Center, enabling culturally tailored services for Korean American women and their families. In 2007, we made the first seed investment to figure skating in Harlem, leading
Sharon's in the house.
leading to the launch of after-school skating and academic enrichment. Finally, in 2010, we provided the inaugural grant to Hot Bread Kitchen, launching culinary training and job placement programs for immigrant women. So again, your dollars today will allow our foundation, the New York Women's Foundation, to continue to plant the seed and we will make these early investments in women community leaders. So again, you can be the change that you want to see in this world by investing in these women today.
We need more women's leadership now more than ever, and you all know that, because the women are the leaders. Together, we can create a brighter future for all of us. Our city and country need the work of the New York Women's Foundations. We have selected and funded programs that have been around for decades. We have no peers.
So can we bring up the thermometer one last time? Yo, there we go. Great.
Thank you to each and every one of you and your radical generosity today and always. We will leave the thermometer up so that you can watch it grow. And we appreciate you, and we are thankful for your attendance here.
Thanks, Lola. So thank you all again for making our community that much stronger today with your radical generosity. And now I have the great privilege of presenting this year's Vision Award to a company whose strategic philanthropy has had a profound and lasting impact on the lives of women and girls. JPMorganChase has demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to advancing economic equality and has shown true leadership in investing in the future of women and girls, both here in New York and around the globe. For years, JPMorganChase has used its platform, resources, and influence to increase opportunities for women to succeed. Their commitment to advancing gender equality is evident in the investments and programs that promote economic empowerment, education, and career advancement for women and their families. The New York Women's Foundation has been proud to partner with JPMorganChase for more than 20 years. And last year, we were thrilled to partner with them on our neighborhood dinner, where we highlighted our mutual investments to build economic power in our Bronx communities. So please join me in welcoming Michelle Henry to accept this award on behalf of JPMorganChase. Michelle is a longtime supporter of the New York Women's Foundation, and her passion and dedication have helped pave the way for so many women to realize their full potential. Her leadership embodies the very spirit of this Vision Award. Congratulations to JPMorganChase, our 2025 Vision Award honoree.
Good morning. On behalf of JPMorganChase, I am honored to accept this prestigious Vision Award from the New York Women's Foundation. We are proud to model strategic philanthropic investment that supports equal access to opportunities for all New Yorkers, including women and families. I want to also take a moment to congratulate our fellow awardees, Jacqueline Woodson, Fran Drescher, the ERA Coalition, and New Yorkers for Equal Rights, who have all stepped up to lead, innovate, and create change for themselves, their families, and their communities. At JPMorganChase, we believe the strength of our business is linked to the vitality of our communities. Our investments in the people and places we serve show that our business is stronger when opportunity is accessible for all. In my role at the firm, as an executive director in corporate responsibility, I lead an amazing team that works closely with community, civic, and advocacy organizations to help unlock access to opportunity and power economic growth in the process. For more than 225 years, JPMorganChase has used business expertise, credit, capital, philanthropic investments, and research, data, and insights to help drive local impact in this city we all call home. Our work in communities revolves around one vision: to strengthen the fabric of this city, its people, businesses, and neighborhoods. We are focused on enabling business growth and entrepreneurship, helping people chart pathways to careers, and supporting the community development that can improve overall financial health and promote wealth creation. Thank you to the New York Women's Foundation for recognizing our efforts and lifting up the power of partnership and collaboration across sectors. This work is personal to me. I was born and raised in New York, and we need to give one more shout out to Brooklyn, please. Thank you, thank you. And I have dedicated my career to creating a more equitable and inclusive city where every New Yorker can thrive. Having served on the Foundation's Grants Advisory Committee and as a former steering committee for this Celebrating Women Breakfast, I have seen up close the Foundation's commitment to radical generosity. And this incredible community of women and a few good men gathered here this morning is a testament to that commitment. I would like to again express the deepest gratitude on behalf of JPMorganChase to the New York Women's Foundation for bringing us together every year. We will continue to be inspired by the extraordinary vision that this community projects and stay dedicated to making a difference in the lives of all New Yorkers. Thank you.
And now, please welcome to the stage representatives from the Informed Consent Coalition, including Bronx Defenders, Bronx Rebirth, Drug Policy Alliance, JMAC for Families, Movement for Family Power, and Pregnancy Justice. And speaking on behalf of the coalition is Imani Worthy from Black Families Love and Unite.
Hey y'all, my name is Imani Worthy. I am a Black mama, the founder and executive director of Black Families Love and Unite, and a parent directly impacted by the child welfare system and an unlawful, non-consensual drug test. I am also a proud steering committee member of the Informed Consent Coalition. Today, I'm not coming to you as a polished policy expert. Y'all keep on talking about Brooklyn, I'm from the Bronx, BX. I'm coming to you as someone who's lived the trauma that so many of our systems deny even exist. Let me be clear, I didn't just study the impact, I lived it. While I was pregnant with my son, I was managing multiple health conditions. I had preeclampsia, I had gestational diabetes. When my blood sugar spiked, instead of receiving care and compassion, I was met with suspicion. A doctor told me that if I couldn't get my insulin under control, I was putting my baby at risk. And before I could even advocate for myself, they threatened to call ACS. Imagine that. Carrying a life inside of you, doing your best with the little support you have, and being treated like a criminal just for having a high-risk pregnancy in a Black body. And it didn't stop there. During another medical emergency, I dragged myself into a hospital in unbearable sciatic pain. And what did I get? A drug test I never consented to, no warning, no explanation, just assumptions that I was seeking pain medication, not because I showed any signs of being inebriated, but because they looked at me and saw a stereotype. That wasn't medical care. That was creating a paper trail that could be used in court against me if I were reported to CPS. That was surveillance. It was blatant racism. I share this because when we speak to decision makers, legislators, and even allies, one of the first things they ask is, well, do you have the data? They want numbers, spreadsheets, peer-reviewed studies. But here's the thing. They only ask for data when they don't trust the people speaking. And that's why I say, impacted people are the data. I am the data. Our stories are not anecdotal, it's structural. It's part of a long, violent pattern of how Black women are treated in medical spaces and how that harm leads directly into child welfare involvement. That's why the Informed Consent Coalition exists. We came together as directly impacted people, mothers, birth workers, survivors, and advocates, and built something rooted in our shared plan of radical love. Our values are simple but powerful. Nothing about us without us. Meaningful change requires the leadership of directly impacted people. Healing requires trust. Folks need to trust their medical providers. Mamas are medicine. The best healthcare for newborns is with their moms. This coalition is interdisciplinary by design. Legal professionals can explain statutes. Medical experts can explain policy gaps. But only we, the people who have survived it, can explain how it feels to be criminalized while pregnant, punished for being in pain, or having your baby snatched because your medical record was shared without your knowledge. And that's why we're so grateful for the New York Women's Foundation, not just for their funding, but their belief in us. Their investment allowed us to build strategy, power, and collective vision. They didn't just support a bill. They supported a movement. Because what we're fighting for is bigger than one law, it's about protecting Black mothers from being punished for seeking care. It's about making sure that when we walk into a hospital, we are treated like patients. It's about ending a system where medical bias feeds into foster care pipelines and building one where informed consent is a right, not a privilege. The Informed Consent Coalition is fighting for every parent who's been violated and then blamed, for every baby taken because of a doctor's assumption, for every mother forced to suffer in silence to avoid state punishment. This is what abolition looks like, not just tearing down systems of control, but building up systems of care. Like Rep. Ayanna Pressley says, the people closest to the pain should be closest to the power. And that's us, Black mothers, Black organizers, and Black truth tellers, claiming our power and demanding our dignity. Thank you.
Please welcome Lola C. West back to the stage.
A drug test is not a parenting test. Okay.
Fran is, of course, widely known for her iconic role in The Nanny, where her fierce humor, unapologetic confidence, and vibrant personality won the hearts of millions. But behind the scenes, Fran has used her platform to do so much more. She has become a tireless advocate for women's health, a champion for the rights of workers, and a voice for those who have been silenced by trauma and injustice. Fran's own experience with cancer, a battle she bravely fought and ultimately overcame, led her to create Cancer Smancer movement, dedicated to early dedication and prevention of cancer. Through this movement, she has empowered countless women to take charge of their health, become informed advocates for their bodies, and demand better care. Last year, our very own fantabulous President, Ana Oliveira, was honored by the Cranes magazine at the Cranes Women of Influence award ceremony in April of 2024. At the event, we had the distinct pleasure of meeting another honoree, Fran Drescher. You know when you hear somebody and you know that that's a voice in the wilderness? She stood up to Hollywood and did something no one had been able to do for the industry, and that was to protect them, to give those people dignity and raise their income. She's a badass, okay? She did that. I was so blown away by her that I went and spoke with her and told her I was with the New York Women's Foundation and said to myself, we're gonna honor her next year. We followed through and here she is. You see, if you don't know where you're going, you might not like where you wind up. Be bold, women and the men that are here. Go after what you want. It matters in life. Fran Drescher is here because she is that voice in the wilderness that we need right now. And it seems that the universe has chosen you for this time. No pressure in your speech. Okay. You have made a difference and you have gotten women and men to stand up and know that they count. You spoke truth and power to money and won. It's my august privilege to present the Celebrating Women's Walking Stick to the one and only Queen's own Fran Drescher.
Thank you, everyone. What a warm and wonderful welcome. I am so honored to be receiving this Celebrating Women Award from the New York Women's Foundation. And I also want to thank their leader, Anna Oliveri. The mission and the vision of what this foundation does is critical, particularly in these times. Now, let me just say that I am a New York woman, and I think most of you are New York women. New York women have it all. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we have style, we have flair, we have humor, we have grit, we have determination, we have a fearless quality, intellect, and a sense of empowerment that is not found everywhere across the nation and around the world. Use it, ladies. Work it. Live it. And don't ever underestimate your power. When I found myself in the position of leading a major strike, we broke the ceiling with a $1 billion deal. I had to convince my own team that this was a seminal crossroads, and if we don't stand tall right here and now, we will always be chasing something just outside of our reach. This is the moment of truth. And truth was my North Star through the entire thing. Truth and calling people out on their untruths, on the fact that they would try and diminish me with the lowest hanging fruit, discredit the woman, make her seem frivolous, make her seem like she doesn't belong in this position. And even though I was advised to say no comment to all the things that the big, expensive crisis management PR firm, who was hired by the opposition, put forth to the press to discredit and diminish me, I said, I will not be silenced by this. I am saying no to no comment, and what I did instead was meet the moment head on, which is what we should always do. I made a video of myself putting on makeup, getting ready to go to work, or in my case, the negotiations. The same thing that most women do every single day. And while I was getting ready, I was speaking to my audience on social media. And I was saying that I do not have to emulate male energy to lead. I can lead with honesty and sincerity and intellect and confidence and empathy. I can speak and be me, and I can still rock a red lip. After this strike, and my strike speech got 12 billion views. That's because it went around the world and ignited labor strikes everywhere, because when I spoke, I wasn't just speaking for my industry. I was speaking for labor around the world to rise up and make sure that management shares the wealth, because they can't do it without us. So after the strike, I had the opportunity to speak to the very people that were on the other side of the table. And the thing that I have heard repeatedly is their big mistake was they weren't prepared for me. They thought I was the nanny. They thought, oh, this is gonna be easy because I'm really an actress, and what do I know? And I'm not gonna wanna like be blacklisted in the industry. And it's like, to hell with all of that. I stand on the side of what's right, and when you stand there fearlessly, in all of the nakedness of truth, then you can actually move forward. We must redefine what women in power are, unapologetically. And that is to be exactly who you are, because who you are is perfect. We have gone to Washington and we have fought for all different kinds of things, like being able to wear your natural hair in places. And, you know, women are now being protected nationally from their mates who are, aggressive with them, violent with them. This is now the law of the land across the nation, that person will be prosecuted who is hurting you in your home, even if they're your husband. Speaking of legislation, and I have a history of success in Washington. I am a cancer survivor, and I went to Washington to get a bill passed for education and awareness of gynecologic cancer because 25 years ago, when I was diagnosed with cancer, there wasn't even a gynecologic division at the NIH. It was women's health. Women were being sent overseas to Desert Storm without any gynecologic exam. And 2 years later, they came back with advanced gynecologic cancer because they weren't tested in the first place. All that has changed now. Women and women's needs must be acknowledged and activated everywhere, because wherever there are women, things get better. I want to continue talking about legislation because I want you to understand what I'm about to say has nothing to do with moral or immoral, right or wrong. There are ways to solve problems without legislating a woman's body. Never, ever support legislating your body. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. What it is a slippery slope towards you being controlled by a male-dominated government. Do not do it. You have an opinion, you have a belief, you go through the portal of education, not legislation of your body. You will pay in the end, whether you see it now or not. Do not buy into that. Healthcare. I have become a health leader and activist and advocate and founded the Cancer Schmancer movement because when I was diagnosed with cancer, I realized, and I had uterine cancer. It took me 2 years and 8 doctors to get a proper diagnosis. I slipped through the cracks every step of the way because I was thinner and younger than the typical woman who would get uterine cancer. But 1 out of 4 get them, that's 25%. It seems like I should have been given a simple endometrial biopsy that doctor number 1 said I was too young for. And back then I thought, okay, well, I'm too young, I guess I'm too young. I should have said, why? What would that prove or disprove? Maybe we should, figure that out first. And what I realized is that women in particular are not in control of their bodies, but must be. And you have to become transformed from being a patient into a medical consumer. You have to become better partners with your physicians. You have to walk in there and not be intimidated. You have to put yourself even before your family. When you feel something that doesn't feel right, and it's at the whisper stage, when it's easy to ignore, that's exactly when you make the doctor appointment. Because That's when it's most curable. Catch it on arrival, 95% survival. And you are useless to your family when you're 6 feet under. Remember that. Don't make everything else a priority over your health. Start making you the center of your universe. You. It's you and you till the end of time. I connect environment and your mental health with your physical health. And you have to start thinking that way, because how you live has a direct connection with how you feel. This is the mission of Cancer Schmancer. We are one of the very few not-for-profits that are trying to empower you to start looking at all of the toxins that plague your life every single day. A woman is exposed to at least 15 carcinogens before she leaves the bathroom in the morning. That's before she opens the refrigerator door or goes under the sink in the kitchen to clean off the counter. You have to start reading labels. And if you think that those plug-in air fresheners, the perfume you're wearing, the pine-scented floor cleaner, anything that has a long-lasting smell has carcinogens in it. If you think that eating food that is doused with chemicals when it's growing, or given impure feed if it's an animal living a Dickensian life, if you think that putting corn syrup sweetener and everything is not impacting your health and your immune system, you are dead wrong. You help your immune system by not poisoning it, because you are what you eat, and you are what you're eating is eating. And everything you bring into your home, everything, make sure it's eco-friendly, because we and the world are one interconnected living organism. Don't hurt the planet, don't hurt yourself. Empathy is something that women have naturally. And this is the growth spurt that our species must practice each and every day consciously, realizing this is something that we need more of. And the more we practice empathy, the better the world will be. All the woes of the world connect to a lack of empathy and a heightened, irrational attachment to greed. This has to be flipped if we want to survive as a species, because right now we're doing it all wrong. We're hurting, we're hating, we're not being vulnerable or understanding, and that all has to flip. And behavior modification is how we grow, how we nurture, how we psychologically mature as a species. Start practicing it every day, because only 10% of a population can shift a paradigm. We can do it. Women can do it. We are more than half the population of our species. Let us bring love and empathy into every single situation. Yes, you carry that heart-shaped plushie toy. You make sure that every man sees it and understands that they are in the presence of something higher and more evolved and better than them. And I love men, but I understand their strengths and, more importantly, their weaknesses. It's not their fault. It is what it is. And I just want to finish by saying I am a Buddhist. Buddhism is not a religion. You can believe in your God, your culture, your heritage. Buddhism is a philosophy. It helps you get through this life. When I have gone through many, many dark times, this year alone, I lost my beloved father and my house in the fires. And sometimes I just cannot get out of bed. But one of the things that Buddhism has taught me is to ask myself, why is this being presented to me? What can I learn from this? How can I change to use this to help myself become a better human being on my journey of self-refinement? I did it with the cancer. I did it with the rape. I did it with my dad dying. I did it with the house going. And I'm doing it all the time, always flipping it. Not why me or woe is me, no. Why is the universe presenting this to me? How can I become a better human being on my journey of self-refinement? And because I did that after the cancer, I wasn't able to have children after that, but I grew exponentially. My life gained so much purpose. I've helped so many people as a result. So I turned lemons into lemonade. And there's a Buddhist wisdom. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. Just look online, Buddhist wisdoms. And every time, read one. If it resonates with you, it's going to sink in. And you're going to gradually start changing and realizing all these wisdoms. But one of the great ones, after a lifetime of being a Buddhist monk, the monk said his wisdom of all of his experience, and this is it. Are you ready? Don't wait. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you. We have one last treat for you. Antonique Smith, who is a Grammy-nominated singer. She's also appeared on 2 shows on Broadway. I had the opportunity to meet her with Reverend Hip Hop, whose actual name is Reverend Yearwood, and he is the hiphopcaucus.org. You can look them up and see what they do. I had dinner with the 2 of them, told her about the breakfast, and she said to me, "Would you like me to sing?" So of course I hadn't heard her sing before, so I was like, oh yeah, and then I went and played a tape or 2. You'll be happy. Thank you so much for being here. Can we have one more look at the screen and our thermometer to see where we are? And then Antonique. Look at that, we almost did it, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lola C. West, for having me. There is nowhere else I'd rather be right now than in this room of extraordinary women. What a beautiful morning it has been. It's such an honor to be here. I started my organization, Climate Revival, because I was tired of my community being a sacrifice zone. Communities of color, poor communities, we have higher rates of cancer and asthma because industries, power plants, petrochemical plants are purposely put in our neighborhoods, and it's not right. It's a lack of love. And so my co-founder, Rev Yearwood, the incredible Rev Yearwood, is here this morning. We started Climate Revival to mobilize people of color and people of faith to fight climate change and fight for environmental justice. If there was more love in this world, then we wouldn't be in a climate crisis. There wouldn't be Superstorm Sandys and Hurricane Helene's and wildfires and droughts and people dying in the street of heat waves. If there was more love, profits wouldn't be more important than people. So in honor of love this morning, and I just have a feeling that the reason why all of you are doing the work you're doing is because you love people, you love your fellow, you love your neighbor, your fellow human. And in honor of that, I'm gonna sing this love song. This first song is gonna be a love song to the earth, because we have to keep the earth safe in order to keep us safe. Yes. Love song. This is an open letter from you and me together. Tomorrow's in our hands now. Find the words that matter and say them out loud. Make it better somehow. Looking down from up on the moon, it's a tiny blue marble. Who'd have known the ground we stand on could be so fragile? This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world, a diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe, keep it safe, keep it safe, 'cause it's ours. It's not about possessions, money, or religion, how many years we might live, when the only real question that matters is still a matter of perspective. Ooh, looking down from up on the moon, you're a tiny blue marble. Who'd have known the ground we stand on could be so fragile? This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world, a diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe, keep it safe, keep it safe, 'cause it's ours. It's This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world, a diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe, keep it safe, keep it safe. It's Thank you so much. So I'm going to close out with a song that brings me hope. This room to me equals hope. The work that you're doing, it gives me hope. I think we all feel a little, do we all feel a little more hopeful this morning? Just hearing of all the extraordinary work everyone is doing. So I want to leave us with a little bit more hope. It's about one of the solutions, and I feel like this room equals solutions as well. You equal hope and you equal solutions. And one of the solutions that we can use as far as keeping ourselves on the planet is the sun. God has given us the sun. It's sitting up there to be used. We have to use the sun. This song, Here Comes the Sun. Here comes the sun, little darling. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. But here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say it's all right. Little darling, smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, feels like years since it's been here. But here comes the sun, little darling. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. But here comes the sun, little darling. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, sun, sun. Here it comes. And it's all right. Thank you. Love you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You heard Antonique here first, huh? Thank you, everyone, for coming. Wishing you a powerful year. We'll see you in 2026. Thank you.